So welcome back. So I've been able to talk about the background. I've been talking about the background of Genesis. So I've been able to talk about the Enuma Elish when above, which has the motive, the creation story, and which I've compared to the creation story of Genesis, and also the Gilgamesh Epic that basically as the flood story, which I was able to compare to the flood story as recorded in Genesis. So I'm moving to the next one, which is called Atrahasis Epic. Atrahasis Epic. So this Atrahasis Epic is an ancient Mesopotamian poem too that tells the story of great flood, and the hero of this flood is called Atrahasis. So he was the one who survived this flood. So this Atrahasis Epic does not only have the flood, the motive of flood story, so also have the creation story too. So basically, this epic explains the flood that occurred in the ancient Mesopotamia, and the only survivor was Atrahasis. So let's quickly delve into the plot analysis, the summary of the poem. So the story begins with the gods' decision to destroy humanity with a flood due to their noise and chaos. So before that time, actually, the gods had been doing the work by themselves. So they actually decided to create human being in order to relieve themselves of the stress of the work they have been doing. So as a result of that, they created human being. They created human being, and the human beings to actually assist them. That's the creation part. A quick summary of the creation part of it. So to assist them in to relieve them of the stress of the daily work they were into. So that was why they created human being. So after when they created human being, they began to make noise. Their noises were now disturbing the gods in their pantheon. So as a result of that, so they decided to destroy humanity with a flood. So due to their noise and chaos. And if you compare that to the Bible too, the Bible says that the Bible said that God regretted for creating human being. So and when he looked into the hearts of human being, their hearts are full of evil. As a result of that, God decided to destroy human being. So a little bit comparison, a little bit similarity to that of the Old Testament, the Genesis. So human beings were to be destroyed due to their chaos and their noise. So Atrahasis, so among this human being, he was a wise, pious man actually. He was a pious and a wise and a pious man. That is, he was very devoted to the God. So these gods warned Atrahasis. They warned Atrahasis. So God Enki. They called the god's name Enki. So he warned Atrahasis of their decision to destroy the universe with flood. So, and he told him that he should build a boat to save himself, his family, and animals. So that was what Enki told him. So when Atrahasis did that, so the flood started, and this flood lasted for 7 days and 7 nights. So we destroy all life on earth. So Atrahasis releases birds to determine if the flood waters have receded. So and eventually the boat lands on a mountain So at the end of this thing, the flood, so Atrahasis offer sacrifices to the gods, so who are pleased and make a covenant with him. They also granted him immortality. So that is the end of the flood story of Atrahasis. So quickly, I've been able to summarize two: the creation story and the flood story. What brought about creation story? The gods were the one carrying out all the activities, the duty on earth. So they decided to create human being in order to assist them, so that they will be relieved of their stress. So they created human beings. So this same human being they created started noise and started chaos, and the gods were angered, and as a result of that, they decided to wipe off the earth with flood. So in the presence of that, the god Enki warned Atrahasis and told him to create a boat, to form a boat which will save him, his family, and the animals. So just like Noah sent out bird, so Atrahasis also sent out bird to check if the flood waters have receded, and at the end of the day, the boat landed on the mountain, and Atrahasis offered sacrifices to the gods, and the gods also went into they went into covenant with him. So quick one, so let me give us accurate account of the creation story as found in the Atrahasis Epic. So the Atrahasis Epic also tells us tells how the gods created human beings to serve them. So like I said before, we have two: flood and creation story. So the gods themselves were doing all the works, like I said before, but they were tired and they needed help. So the god Enki suggests creating humans to take over the workload. So as you know, the workload on the gods were too much. So Enki decides to create a human being, in order to take over the workload that the gods were doing. So the goddess Mami, which is also known as Nintru, so creates humans from clay. So he creates human being from clay, and the blood of the god. So and the blood of the god gets to he. So this is it. This Nintu or Mami created human being from clay, mixing the blood of Getsu hair in together. So Mami were formed from it. So the humans are tasked with serving the gods, providing them with food and drink. However, so the humans soon became noisy and disturbed the gods' peace, which leads to the decision of the gods to destroy them with flood. We have seen this. So they created human being in order to relieve them of their stress and to save them. So we compare that to the creation story of Genesis 2. So they almost have the same motive. They almost have the same motive of creation. So and the creation is somehow similar to each other. So now we'll quickly talk about the similarities. What are the similarities with Genesis flood story and that of Atrahasis Epic? So the first one is that the two of them has the motive of flood narrative. So that is, both accounts states that humanity was destroyed by flood. So both accounts. Number two is that there is this divine decision. So in both accounts, so the gods or God decide to destroy humanity due to their wickedness or noise. In Atrahasis Epic, it is the human noise. In the Bible, Genesis account, it is the wickedness of human beings. So the divine, they actually decided to destroy human being. So we also have the third one to be called the hero. That is, I call it hero. The two heroes were warned. The two of them were warned. So there is this kind of warning from the divine. So both Atrahasis and Noah. So they are warned by God. So or God. Atrahasis is warned by Enki, God Enki, and Yahweh warned Noah. So about the impending flood. So we also have the motive of the similarities of ark and boat. So in the Genesis account there is ark, while in Atrahasis Epic account there is the mention of boat. So the two of them built a kind of vessel to save themselves, their family, and animals. So we also have the release of birds too. So both stories feature the release of birds to determine if the flood waters have receded. We also have sacrifice after flood. We also have covenant and promise. So now let's see the similarity. What are the similarities with Genesis creation story? So we also have, the first similarity is the creation from clay, sand. So that is, both account features humans created from clay. So in Genesis, God formed human being from clay, and from clay and breath, the breath of God. While in Atrahasis Epic, human beings were formed from clay and the blood, from clay and blood. And if you look at the symbolic meaning of blood, it simply means life. So it simply means life. God also breathed life into human being, so they became alive. So another one is the divine creation. So the creation stories actually involve God or gods creating human being. So we also have purpose of human. We have garden or paradise. Some of them have the motive of garden and paradise. So we have human disobedience. So we have it in two accounts. We also have the divine rest. In Genesis, so God rested seventh day after He created human being. So the same thing applicable to Atrahasis Epic. The gods also rested after when they created human being. We also have bread of life. So the two of them mention the bread of life. So Atrahasis, Enki breathed into human, while in Genesis God breathed into human. Enki breathed into human, while God breathed into human in Genesis account. So we also have the creation sequence. So that is that about the documents that talk about creation and flood. Atrahasis Epic, Gilgamesh Epic, and Enuma Elish. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I beg you, please. Thank you so much. God bless you.